Minister Glover, can you tell us a little bit about your view on the gang problem in the city of Chicago and what possible solutions you think would work?
Well, the gang problem is in fact that a gang problem. One of the things that we have to focus on is that a lot of these young brothers I just want to be a part of something. It's not like they understand what they're a part of, because when you're talking about the Constitution that came along with these various different organizations, when you talk about Gangster Disciple, Vice Lords, Black Souls, Latin Kings, etc., they had a constitution that you had to learn, which is the law. You had to learn that before you can even be a part of these organizations, and that's what established the structure in the organization. Because you just couldn't come in and just say, "Oh, hey, I'm a part of something," and that's the way we accept it. We didn't accept it like that. We accepted it only on the basis of that you could prove to be worthy of being a part of that organization. And number one, you had to be a leader. You couldn't be a follower. And you have a lot of followers today, and that's where street gangs have organized themselves now as being street gangs, because they have a bunch of followers. But when you are a leader, then you have organizations. You see, and organizations move in ranks, and they have a particular one cause, one aim, and one destiny in terms of what they're about. Let's just go back a little bit. In my time, organizations was about protecting the community. Not destroying the community, not selling dope on the block, and invading the neighbor's privacy and things like that by putting dope under the porch of the houses and things like that, on inside of the buildings and under the cars and things like that. We didn't do things like that because we respected our community. We respected our neighbors, because at that particular era of time, it took a village to raise a child. You didn't disrespect the next door neighbor. When the next door neighbor said you doing wrong, she admonished you out of love and respect for who your family members were. So we have gone away from that, but we had help. We had help from what is known today as COINTELPRO operation. Whereas the government launched a particular investigation on these particular organizations, and then they uprooted some of our greatest leaders. When you're talking about Mr. Larry Hoover, when you're talking about Jeff Ford, when you're talking about Lord Gino, when you're talking about Angelo Roberts, we can go on and on talking about these various different leaders that we had at one point in time, that COINTELPRO put a rope around their neck and locked them in tombs. And when you, as they said, we're going to cut the people, the government at that time said that we were going to cut the head off the body of the snake. And that's in fact what they did, because when you cut the head off the snake, the body can't function. And that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing that these gangs that some people refer them as were at one point in time a part of a body of a government. And now that body can no longer function properly because they are lacking of the right leadership. So you see the young brothers have become vicious killers. They have become disobedient. They have become boastful lovers of themselves. This is the perilous times that we're in right now, as our brother, the Apostle Paul, talked about. So what we want to do, we want to try to reverse that thinking and bring them back into the original way of thinking when these organizations first came about. If we could get these young youth to understand this is their community, these are their societies. It's nothing wrong. When you're talking about organizations, you have the Masonic Order today, you have the Moorish Science Temple today, you have the Nation of Islam today, you have different Christian churches today, Catholic churches. We can go on and on about these particular groups that you can call gangs, or you can call organizations, or you can call fraternal orders. Even the police force is a gang. That's a fraternal order. It's not a problem with being a part of a gang, but it's the principles that are involved. If you have the principle of love out front, then you can begin to move on some things that are connected with the other principles, which are truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know, those are the 5 highest principles that are known to man. And if we can get these young youth to understand that those 5 principles represent them, those 5 principles represent everything that they were born into when you're talking about being a part of these various different organizations. Because all of them had principles that were adjacent. All of them had constitutions that were adjacent and laws that were adjacent. So they don't have the right leadership today. And as long as they don't have the right leadership, then they will continue to fall to the wayside or fall short of the glory of what these organizations were created for. So I say, to answer your question, I say what we do at this point in time is we respect the fact that these brothers have gathered together under these particular banners. But what we need to do is strive to properly educate them in terms of what growth and development is really all about, what Lordism is really all about, what the cornerstone is really all about. And then I'm pretty sure that we can produce a different type of representative to these particular organizations.
Thank you, Minister Glover.